Colorado is dealing with an outbreak of wildfires this week, and especially on the western slope. We are following at least 3 major wildfires tonight, plus a few others of smaller nature, all of them starting on a weekend that has seen hot, dry, and windy conditions. First is the Snyder Fire that's burning in Mesa County, started in Utah and then crossed the border into Colorado. 3 firefighters were killed, 2 others were injured while battling that fire. It's now topped 28,000 acres, more than 43 square miles, and there is no containment tonight. Next is the Gold Mountain Fire burning near Ouray in Ouray County. Mandatory evacuations for homes there between Peck's Trailer Park and Cedar Hill Cemetery. This is just east of Highway 550, also known as the $1 Million Highway. That fire has grown to nearly 600 acres, nearly 1 square mile. The Colorado Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Management says Highway 550 is closed in both directions. And we're also following a new fire that just started burning today in Lake County, burning south of Turquoise Lake in the Twin Mounds area, not very far from the town of Leadville. The Lake County Sheriff's Office has issued mandatory evacuations as well as some pre-evacuation orders tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Meckles. Most of these fires are burning out west. So here's a map just to give you a better idea of the fires that we are tracking tonight. Some I've already told you about, some we will tell you about. Democratic Governor Jared Polis has issued an emergency declaration for several of these tonight, and we are bringing you team coverage on all the fires. We have Angeline McCall following the latest from the Gold Mountain Fire in Ouray. Mark Salinger is out in Fruita for us tonight covering the Snyder Fire, but we want to begin with more on the one near Leadville, the Willow Fire. This one just popped this afternoon. Lake County Sheriff's Office has issued evacuations across several county roads and trails and campgrounds near Leadville, including Fish Hatchery, all campgrounds around Turquoise Lake and Hagerman Pass. You're looking at a time lapse from a nearby airport camera showing the smoke development over Leadville tonight. A viewer flying into Denver captured video of the fire from above, and you can see a giant plume of smoke. No word yet on the exact size of that fire or what started it. Our man in the mountains, Matt Renew, spoke with some people who wasted no time packing up and getting out of town.
I mean, we were watching the fire from across the lake. I was just on Elbert this morning, and we were like, oh, there's a freaking fire. So we figured we'd pack up, and then we got a text, emergency evacuation. So, yeah, packed up. Less than an hour later, fastest pack up ever.
An evacuation center is available at the gym at Colorado Mountain College in Leadville tonight. Now let's head out to Mesa County. That's where we find Mark Salinger tonight in a county where 3 firefighters were killed fighting the Snyder Fire. Mark Salinger joins us live.
Yeah, hey Jenny, those 3 firefighters and 2 others who were injured were working here in Mesa County as part of federal wildland firefighting crews when the fire that they were fighting, the Snyder Fire, turned into a deadly fire. Tonight, the fire that is now 28,000 acres as firefighters continue to fight that, now with the other aspect of that they're also mourning firefighters who were killed, some of their own. The conditions tomorrow are expected to be just as dangerous, if not even more dangerous. The Snyder Fire is burning here in Mesa County. I'm in Fruita right now, right on the Colorado and Utah state line. It was started by lightning driven by extreme winds and bone-dry conditions. National Weather Service has upgraded the fire weather warning to particularly dangerous situation. That's not great. The fire started near the Colorado-Utah state line and has now spread to more than 28,000 acres. Governor Polis declared a disaster emergency, activating the National Guard and the State Emergency Operations Plan. But tonight the focus is on the people fighting it. On Saturday, 5 federal firefighters were caught in what's called a burnover, when fire overtakes a crew's position as they're out in the middle of the wildland fighting this. All 5 deployed their emergency fire shelters. 2 were rescued by a state helicopter and taken to a hospital with burns. 3 did not survive. Procession of fire trucks moved through the area today, with the community showing its grief for those who were lost in the line of duty. The U.S. Wildland Fire Service released a statement today saying, quote, "Their bravery, dedication, and sacrifice will never be forgotten." Now, we're still waiting to learn who these firefighters are. We don't know their names yet, or even where they were stationed, where they came from, or how long they had been here in Colorado. But obviously, the work continues to try and still contain these flames, this blaze that is still sitting at 0% containment, now also mourning the loss of these 3 firefighters. In Mesa County, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
Mark, a lot being said tonight about smoke along the Front Range. You drove from Denver to Mesa County today. What have you seen as far as smoke in the air along your journey and then tonight in Mesa County?
Yeah, the smoke is just socked in here on the western slope, and you can kind of start seeing that as it's moving eastward down from the western slope over the Continental Divide, and it just starts almost when you're in Dillon area and just kind of feels socked in. Here you can kind of see as the sun sets behind me, there's still a ton of smoke. The wind has calmed down, which is good news for firefighters this evening, but there could potentially be more wind tomorrow.
All right, Mark Salinger reporting for us tonight in Mesa County. Thank you, Mark. Now, there is a state of emergency also in Ouray County as the Gold Mountain Fire continues to burn about 570 acres. It's caused several pre-evacuation and mandatory evacuations this weekend. 9 News reporter Angeline McCall has been tracking those for us. Angeline?
Right, Jenny, no cause has been determined on what could have actually started this fire that began last night, but we do know that steep terrain and strong winds have made this fire even more difficult to fight. Crews are using several resources, including from the air. As of the last official notice, no structures have been lost. The Red Cross hosted 4 people overnight in their shelter and several more throughout the day seeking help.
To actually be able to see pictures of the fire and to see the smoke from our houses, it definitely tells us we all need to have our to-go bag ready. We all need to be able to evacuate very, very quickly.
Current mandatory evacuations include the areas of Lake Lenoir, Panoramic Heights, Redstone Road, and Peck's Trailer Park. In the studio, Angeline McCall, 9 News.
Angeline, thank you. Here's one more for you. We're keeping tabs on this one in southwestern Colorado. The Ferris fire burning in the Glade area north of Dolores. Fire officials say it's burning uncontained. It's nearly 11,000 acres, about 16 square miles. The U.S. Forest Service says this one actually started as 3 separate fires. One merged with a second, and then a third fire is nearby and close enough. They're just going to count it all as one of the bigger Ferris fire at this point. There are some pre-evacuation and evacuation orders issued in that area, and investigators believe lightning is what caused it. Let's talk more about that air quality because the fires are really messing it up tonight. On this map, it's an impact map according to airnow.gov. That orange area you see along the Front Range, that's got an AQI of more than 100, which basically means it's unhealthy for sensitive people, unhealthy air. Most of the state is under that yellow color. That's considered moderate air quality, acceptable, they say, but there could be some risk for some people. Now's a good time to bring in Corey Reppenhagen because the conditions for all of this were terrible, and we've really got more of it all week long.
Yeah, the same conditions are going to persist, at least the hot and dry, windy conditions. They'll be in different stages and gradients, but they will stay. And that's why we will continue to see not only the smoke and the fires, but all across the Front Range. This is a satellite picture showing all of the hot spots out here and all the smoke. There's almost all of Colorado is under a air quality alert at this moment. As you can see, all this smoke coming onto the Front Range. New fires popping up tonight as well. The Willow fire, you can see that pretty close to the Front Range. Another one down in Dolores County, the McLeod fire. And also right at the end here, you see this little plume right here to the west of Colorado Springs on the south Park County line and Fremont County line. That one bears watching. We could have another one that's in the developing stages. So the fire weather warnings will go until about 10 o'clock tonight, and then they will be expired. And tomorrow, we're on a fire weather watch. That most of the state will be upgraded back into fire weather, red flag, fire weather warnings. The ominous scene across the Front Range of the fire. That's the thing about the wildfires is we all see the smoke and we can all smell it, and it's a constant reminder and a harbinger of what is happening in other parts of our state. People going through some nervous times. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s right now. Our official high temperature in Denver today was 94 degrees, and it looks like we're going to stay in the 90s here on the Front Range as the entire state of Colorado stays relatively sunny and warm. We'll be in the 90s straight through the entire 7-day forecast. I'll have more on the heat and also the fire weather conditions to expect for tomorrow coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Corey, thank you. And we will continue to follow these fires and the impacts as they develop. In the meantime, you can always take these alerts with you and stream 9 News Now everywhere you watch. Just scan the QR code on your screen and watch for free.